Well, here he is, all 7 foot plus of big Callum McRae from the Southland Sharks. Good to have you in on the Raw podcast, mate. And how good was that effort up in Nelson on the weekend? That was something on the road, right?
Yeah, it felt good. Definitely been playing there last year, so getting a win against the old team was definitely good.
Yeah, because you caught the eye. So you came back from you came back from college, didn't you? From the States,
Yep.
you know, and then got a little bit of a taste at the end of last year's NBL season up against the Giants. So did that sort of steel you to go and stick it up them on the weekend? Did it?
Oh, just a bit added bonus, really.
Yep.
It's nothing bad.
No beef.
No beef. It's all love, but
Yeah.
no, I was glad to get it. Took a bit of smoke from my old teammates. So
Yeah, good
it was
stuff.
good.
Yeah,
Did you know I think you're the first player in the league to hit the triple-double. Did you know you were, when you hit that triple-double, that you were the first in the league to nail that on the weekend?
No, I didn't know I was the first, but yeah, I've been trying to get it for a while. I've been trying to get that triple double, so I was glad to get it. Thankful to my teammates for making the shots. So yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah, so you got to hit double figures, obviously, in at least 3 of the stats. So yeah, which is what you did. It was a 20-20 double actually, with points and rebounds and then assists. I was tracking that from afar actually, and you were sort of sitting on 9 assists for quite a long time. Do you count? Are you aware of where you are, like in terms of where they sit during a game? You have a fair idea?
I had a fair idea. Like,
Yeah.
I get a feel of it. Like, just picking it up. I knew I was close, but I didn't think I got over there. So, yeah, I was happy when Phil told me at the end in the interview. I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah, sweet. Oh, it's good stuff. But and look, for the team, obviously, we
Yeah.
talked a little bit about this before we came in, right? You know, we know the challenges that there's kind of been, but you know, to obviously literally get on a run, we're claiming it as a streak.
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
You know, to do a couple back to back and to get one on the road after winning the season finale at home as well too. You got to feel like it's the end of the season, at least heading in the right direction. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, at this stage, we're just playing for each other. We're playing for, like, the Southland community. We want to still have pride in the jersey we wear and in each other in our own, like, game. So I think that's why we're still trying hard right now. Like, we just never give up, really. So I think I'm glad that that's where we're at. A lot of teams might have given up in our situations. So
Yep.
I'm glad that that's where we're at.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Not easy though, right? Because we got Rams on the weekend, which
Yeah.
is probably the toughest task, you know, in the league at the moment in terms of the run that they're on. What you sort of take going into that for this weekend?
Yeah, they're a tough, well drilled team.
Yeah.
Like Judd's obviously Southern community's familiar with the Judd. He's a great coach, so we're just going to take it as it comes. Like, we'll play our game and just see what happens.
There's obviously been some improvement in the last couple of weeks. Is there anything that you can put that down to, being able to close out those wins?
Not necessarily. I think we've just had such a turbulent year with people coming in and out, and I think we're just finally found the chemistry and being able to put it together. Like, I think that was our whole issue at the start of the season, was we were good individually, but as a team we couldn't quite get there. And I think with the new pieces that we added, like, I think we've finally found it, and albeit it was a bit too late, but yeah, positive signs, at least for, individually rolling into next year. So yeah,
Doesn't take much, eh? Like, and this is the thing about it. You know, I always talk about every team and every squad, I suppose across all sports, but basketball particularly, right? Because we're not talking about a lot of dudes, you know. If 5 of you out on court at any one time, it doesn't take much, right? You take a piece out, you put a piece in, and then all of a sudden that's happened. It's been noticeable. You know, Cooper Rob's a really good example of a guy who's come in that's just seemed to get everyone going and everyone in the right place, right? You know, it must feel the same internally as it looks from the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. Cooper's been awesome. He's a great point guard, and he's not doing anything like crazy stats wise, but I think he's just putting everyone else in the position to do their best. Like, I think he's gotten a lot out of Caleb as well. Caleb's had some great games in these past few days, and I think a lot of that can be down to Cooper, just the way he rolls on offense, but also the defensive role that he plays. Like, he's a great defender, and that takes a lot of pressure off Caleb to, like, be able to just score. A lot of pressure off me too. So yeah, he's been a great addition, and I've loved playing with him.
I think, Nick, you said that like 2 wins is actually the second best winning streak in the competition at the moment, which sort of
Unofficially, I think that's the case, isn't it? Yeah. So,
which sort of speaks to the nature of the competition,
Absolutely,
doesn't it? Like
yeah.
there's some fine margins out there.
Yeah, definitely. I think every team is talented. There's not one like easy beat team. Especially now that we've got a few wins under our belt. So, so I think the league's really talented this year. I think every team's got really good players that can play at high levels. So I think, yeah, exactly. It just speaks to the way the league is now and how competitive it is. Like top 6 again is up for grabs for a lot of different teams. So yeah, it's been a tough league to compete in this year, but I think it's made a lot of us better basketball players and for the future.
How and why, I guess, did it end up that you've decided to come down to the Southland Sharks? What sort of played out there?
Well, so my brother was down here, and he just spoke highly of the organisation. A couple of my mentors in Palmerston North actually played under Guy, so they had great words to say about him. So I think my career, like I sort of took the last 6 months off, and I was sort of stalled in my career a little bit, so I just thought coming here was the best place where I could focus on basketball, focus on what I needed to control, focus on getting better, and I just thought Southland was the best place to do that.
Tell us a wee bit more about your journey to get to here. Has it been sort of a nomadic existence that basketball can provide?
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. Like obviously I did my 5 years in college, then I did that 7 games in Nelson. So yeah, it's been a crazy journey. Like obviously went through that COVID stage, and I think that affected a lot of people in a lot of different ways. So yeah, I was injured through that, and yeah, it was up and down.
So where were you? Tell us a little bit about where you were when you were in the States, and then I'm interested in that whole experience, because I guess you probably both from a school point of view, but also obviously from a sport point of view, played through that COVID experience, which was nuts enough here, let alone in a I don't want to say cesspool, but somewhere like the States. I mean, tell us a little bit about what that was like.
So I was in Southern California at a school called UC Riverside, which is like East LA, like just cesspool, mate.
Right, so that's what actually.
It's just a hot desert area, but no.
Yeah.
I love so I was there for 4 years. Then I did my graduate year at Sacramento State, which is obviously in Sacramento, North California. So I got my degree at UC Riverside, and then I just did half of my graduate thing at Sacramento. But yeah, it was a crazy experience. Like I love my time over there. I've made some great friends. I still have my girlfriend over there, so I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. But yeah, that COVID experience was insane.
Did you play, or did they lock the season down?
So that year we played, but I didn't. I had a knee injury, so I just thought now's the best time. I didn't have to get that surgery right then, but I was like, best time to do it now.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting on my butt anyway, so may as well get that done. So they just changed it up. There was a lot of lockdowns. There was a lot of, if one person in the team got COVID, everyone was shut down.
Yeah.
Like we weren't allowed to see anyone outside of our team. Like our girlfriends got cut off really. So
Tough times.
But, again, everyone went through it, so it wasn't like it was just us.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was insane.
Just as a life experience, I mean, obviously you go over there for basketball and study though, but and we know more and more Southlanders, young Southlanders are taking up that opportunity, but to be able to go and experience that life, I mean, that must be it's a great experience.
Yeah, definitely. I think outside of basketball, it just taught us to grow up. Like going over there, I had no family. I didn't know anyone, so I had to grow up quick. I had to cook for myself, clean for myself. I had to do all that, which probably the first 8 to 10 months didn't go great, but yeah, eventually we figured it out. And I think just doing that as a 19, 20, 21-year-old was just such a great experience. And I think I'm a good roommate now. I'm a better person. Not as messy as I might have been, but
adulting is hard, mate. It's not easy.
Exactly. So I think that just gave me a little head start, a little boost. I feel like I'm a better professional because of it. I'm a better person because of it, and yeah.
Well, it's obviously someone like yourself who's come up through the age groups, and then and obviously played high school here, and then goes over to college. Tell us, like in terms of we have good things to say about the quality of the NBL as a basketball product. What's your sort of take in with your bit more of a worldly view in terms of how it goes as a product?
Yeah, I think definitely when I was growing up, I wouldn't say it wasn't as good. I think it was a lot more top heavy than it is now. It's a lot more well rounded, and I think there's actually like the Rapid League is a good like showcase for a lot of these things. Like my old college coach is like asking me about some of these guys that are playing. So I think it's just a good showcase. It's a good way to develop. Like when the Jets cancelled their, like they were out of the league for a few seasons, and unfortunately that was when I was 16, 17, 18. So I think that sort of hindered my development a little bit. So I think
because you naturally would have been in the development role with
like
them.
I was in the development role when I was 15, 16, but I was behind Nick Horvath and Arthur Trousdale and Jeremiah Truman, like all these amazing players. So as a 15-year-old, I was a fat boy, so I wasn't going to do anything. So, that sort of hindered my development. But I think a lot of these kids, they're playing against adults and great basketball players. So I think just learning off them, even if they don't play, I think like Riley, I think he's learned a lot of me this year just because of my experience. And like, sometimes in training it doesn't feel like it for him, but he's getting a lot better through this experience.
You would have loved a Rapid League back in those days too.
Would have loved it.
Yeah.
It would have just been my high school team, especially being in Palmy. It would have been my high school team just having the game before, having the curtain raiser before the NBL game. So, yeah, it's a great innovation, and I think a lot of kids are getting better for it.
Yeah, it's interesting. So you actually are even finding this genuine inquiry around some of these guys that coaches
absolutely.
over there are seeing. Yeah, right.
Definitely. And like you can see it getting better. Like it might not be this year because of the Rapid League, but that under-17 team, New Zealand basketball is getting better. And like the men's team just beat Croatia. Like, it's a great win. Great win against some great players.
Yeah.
So New Zealand basketball is getting better, and it's getting recognised more on the world stage. Like especially with this NIL stuff coming in, and the NCAA, a lot of these lower league teams they can't really compete for the top American guys, so they got to go international. And New Zealand's just one of those places. Like we speak English, like we understand the Australia connections like there because there are a lot of Australian coaches over there. So. It's blown up.
It is. You can tell Rapid League's a really good example of the innovation that's actually happening as well too. So not only is it a sport that's naturally growing, because you're seeing it at junior ranks, but it's also doing something about it. I reckon that's the interesting thing being involved in it, is that it's not afraid to push boundaries or to try something a little different. Rapid League is something that's, was an idea that caught fire and obviously has really found its place and added some real value, I think, to the fan experience, but also from a playing point of view as well too, especially for those guys a bit deeper in the roster, who normally would have been sitting behind the key guys like yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just the growth. The growth is just huge, and again, I would have killed for that as these guys, and it also gives them a chance to maybe unknown guys for other NBL clubs next season to probably move up the ranks a little bit and showcase like this is what I can do, pay me, or this is what I can do, take a chance. So I think a lot of people are going to be thankful for that.
Because that is the other hard part, right? It's about taking it from a semi-professional sense, even on a domestic level, and taking that kind of next step up. Really hard for sports that can't quite get there to sort of go to that kind of next level. Because, you come down, you enjoy, obviously, Invercargill and all of its attractions as well too, but you're not, in the New Zealand League, the reality is you're not going to make a career here, are you? So that's a bit of a balance. What is it like from a player's perspective in that regard? You just use it as the opportunity to push your career forward from a playing perspective?
Yeah, it's definitely a springboard. Like I can every single night pretty much I was going up against an NBL big or an import, and some of the imports are obviously NBL level. So I think for me it was just testing myself against those type of players, and like even for the guards like Isaiah Leafa, great guard, Mitch McCarron, Ben Henschel, it all goes on, like Corey Webster, obviously. So every single night there's an elite player in your position that you can measure yourself up against. Like you can take your film, send it to teams saying, I can do this against this player. So like take a chance on me. So for me, I think that's what's helped me, and I think that's what's helped a lot of players, and it will continue to do so.
So what happens now for you? I mean, Nick,
2 very important weeks, Sav.
Yeah,
2 very important weeks.
Sorry, not now. What happens at the end of the season for someone like you? I mean, Nick mentioned that obviously that you're a professional basketballer in some sense, but then but obviously it's not a full-time job at this stage. but obviously that's what you're pushing for. But what happens at the end of the season for you?
Well, for me, I've signed a contract overseas. It hasn't been released yet, so
Right.
I won't tell you right now.
To the team.
I won't tell you right now where,
That's good.
but definitely it's overseas.
Podcast
so.
exclusive.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that next chapter. So I'll head over there mid-August.
Right.
So that's what's next for me, and then that goes until early April next year.
Oh, ideal.
So yeah.
Exciting.
So that is awesome, mate, and we're stoked for you, and you've earned it, naturally, of course, which is the best part about it too. So that's what you're looking for, right? To put out some good film, to put out some good performances as well.
Yep.
So we won't mention names, but tell us how quick a process is that sort of thing? Is that something that sort of evolves over the season, or has it just kind of fallen into place pretty quickly?
So obviously I have an agent who's pretty much put my name out there and looked across Europe and Asia and all that sort of stuff and just seen who needs a big 7-foot guy. So there were a few.
Most teams.
Yeah. So there was a few biters, and then as I started playing better throughout the season, it became like more interest, and then I've signed a contract.
Yeah,
so
great,
cool.
mate.
Yeah.
No, that is awesome.
We love an import in Southland sport. I'm interested and Nick will get nervous as I ask this question, but
Well, we've had a few this year, so you've got plenty to choose from.
What's it, from your perspective coming to Invercargill? What do you love about Invercargill? What are the high points for you?
Well, firstly, like the organisation of my teammates, they've been awesome. Like on a 3 and 15 team, you would expect there to be a lot of conflict and a lot of like sort of distaste for each other, but we actually gel a lot of people have said it, like we gel quite well. Like we all get along. We never like we don't have any crazy arguments. So I think for me that's been the easiest part of this hard year, has been like I've still enjoyed coming into practice every day. I've still enjoyed coming into work. So I think that's what I've enjoyed the most. Obviously the community's been great. Like the crowds that we've been getting have been like awesome. That last game that we won, the Phi game, there was a great crowd. It was loud. Could barely hear myself think. So I think that's what I cherish the most.
Favourite place for a coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
Don't drink coffee.
Don't drink coffee.
Wow.
How has the now? So we talk about the rooming situation. You talk about what a great roommate you are, talking yourself up, admittedly. But so you're in with Ben Hall and Scott Talfa.
Okay.
So talk us through that experience as well with the living situation and how that's run.
Well, firstly, I said I'm a better roommate.
Right. So
Not the fittest article.
starting from the low base. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's been great. I get along with those two really well. Like we're in a nice house, quiet neighbourhood, so it's been great. The house isn't too messy. I think the landlord won't be too upset when
Good, happy days.
when we get out. So it's been good.
And so cooking. So talk us through the the nightly menus and the how do you balance the cooking duties?
Oh, well, individual basis with that one. Sometimes.
Oh, you look after yourself.
Yeah, we look after ourselves.
Is that right?
absolutely. Yeah, well, if I put in the effort to make a nice pasta and then the next day's we're having cheese toasties, like, I don't feel like that's not equitable,
I gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, we keep that relatively individual. Like every now and again we'll go out and get some together, or we'll have one house meal or something. But yeah, for the most part, it's individual.
Okay.
You shop individually too? This is quite a key question.
This is inside baseball, isn't it?
like my flatting experience back in the day, like if you did cook individually, there could be some nervous moments when someone else goes for your ingredients.
No, well, so we do go to Pack and Save together. We all go in a car ride and usually go down there together, but we have separate areas of the cupboard and of the fridge.
Right,
so,
yeah.
Okay, good.
So that usually does. And we're like pretty chill guys. Like we're not too stressed about all that.
Someone always uses the good fry pan though, and then it's in the sink, so it's out of commission.
Scott Talfa.
Right. Get in first. Well, mate, what about these last 2 weeks then, eh? So you talk about how focused the squad is. Obviously that's what you want to. You got Manawatu on the who are sitting below you on the points table as well too. So I'm sure that's got a ring around it.
Oh, definitely. Like we want to keep playing to the end. We're competitive guys. We want to keep trying to win. Like obviously we got the Rams first this week. Then we've got that double header on the road against Manawatu and Saints, which both have personal. I want to win. I want to win them both, just because obviously I'm from Manawatu, and then my brother's girlfriend, they're a big sponsor of the Saints, so I want to beat them both.
Right, good stuff.
I was wondering where that was going. Yeah. I mean, the beauty of this weekend against the Rams is that pretty much everyone outside of probably you guys will have written you off, given the Rams. The chance to go up there and just do something quite out of the box must be quite exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no pressure on us. Like, we just go out there, hope, see what happens. Break their streak, hopefully.
Well, I mean, the reality is you did the FI. You probably, put a bit of a nail in to make it really challenging for them. I think they may be done. I don't know if they're officially done, but they're all but done. In terms of top six, you made it harder for the Giants as well, too, who are sitting in that sixth spot and probably will be okay, but there's a bit of a scrap on now for that spot. So nothing wrong with playing spoiler over the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks of the comp, right?
Absolutely. Like making people sweat.
Yeah, good.
It's great. Got to play for something at this stage.
Yeah, nice, mate. Hey, listen, well, congratulations. It's been notable, and I guess I wear my Sharks hat as well, too, and you've been such a key part of, obviously, on the court, but off the court as well, too. And the way in which you guys have been able to, hold together speaks volumes of you guys individually, obviously as players, but also, as individuals as well, mate. So congratulations on the weekend. Let's keep that up for another couple of weeks, eh?
Yeah,
and good luck for what's next.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me.
Cheers, Cal.
Cheers, mate.